My wife came home with her side piece and a divorce papers, demanding a share of my assets. I foolishly agreed and she laughed. But what she didn't know is that I own nothing. My wife walked in confidently, thinking she had checkmated me. She wanted the divorce, the house, the company, and even alimony. I signed everything without hesitation, and she laughed. But that laugh wouldn't last very long. "Nathan, where are you? We need to talk," my wife called out as she walked in the front door. I could hear she wasn't alone. She knew I was home because my car was in the garage. "I'm upstairs," I replied, closing the suitcase on the bed. "What are you doing home so early?" she asked, walking into the room. "And why are you packing a suitcase?" "Ah, I got a call from a potential client. It's urgent, so I left work to pack my things. My flight leaves in a few hours. Sorry I didn't warn you sooner, but the opportunity just popped up. I need to move fast before it's too late." "Oh, I see. Anyway, I hope you have a few minutes because we really need to talk." "Sure, no problem. I have a little time," I replied, grabbing my suitcase and following her. We went to the kitchen and, as expected, another man was there. I recognized him. It was David Norton, one of the lawyers from the firm where my wife worked. I grabbed a cup of coffee I had made about half an hour earlier and sat down. "Well, Nathan, there's no easy way to say this, so I'll be direct. Dave and I have fallen in love. I don't love you anymore, and I want a divorce. We've already filed the paperwork." "Okay, well, I really can't fight it. If it's over between us, then it's over. Do you mind if I take a better look? I'd like to resolve everything quickly. Depending on how this trip goes, I might not have much time in the coming months to deal with this. Maybe Dave can call a notary so we can finalize everything before I leave." "Wow, Nathan, you're being really mature about this. I was expecting a huge argument. I'm sorry to spring this on you, but it's better to sort it out quickly and move on." "Well, from what you said, fighting it would be useless. Let's see what we have here." I took a few minutes to review the division of assets. "Okay, I see one change I'd like to make regarding alimony. I'm curious about this. You have a good job. Why are you asking for $5,000 per month? We did the research and ran the numbers. You make about 4 times more than me, so that's the formula the court uses to set the amount." "Okay. The only issue is that my company is undergoing significant changes, and I really don't want to have to go back to court to renegotiate this. How about we change it to a fixed percentage of my income, say 25%? That would actually give you more based on my last paycheck, and the value would automatically adjust as my income changes." "Wow, that's very generous, and it makes sense. Okay, Dave will make that change and we'll all sign." "Well, you gave me a great 10 years, so there's no reason not to be fair now. About you asking for 60% of the company, you really don't understand anything about managing it. I don't want to lose control. So how about you keep 49%? Actually, to make up for that, we can change the division of investments, increasing your share from 60% to 80% of the current investments. After all, I can rebuild what I'm losing." "Okay, I think that works, as long as I can keep the house. I love this house." "That's not a problem. In fact, I'll be so busy that I won't have time to go to the beach house, and I'm not really a fan of the beach anyway. You know what? Let's change the wording so I transfer my share of all the properties we currently own. I'll probably buy an apartment somewhere, less maintenance to worry about." "Nathan, I can't believe how generous you're being. As I mentioned, I'll be too busy to enjoy the properties, and I can earn enough money to rebuild my portfolio. Now, about our children's support, I think the amount you put is a bit low, and there's no clause to adjust it as my income increases. After all, I want our children to be well taken care of. Let's change that to 25% of all my income in the country. This will cover not only my salary, but also any other income source from my investments. Also, since you will be the primary guardian, they should be on your health plan." "That sounds reasonable. Dave, log into the Wi-Fi and print the new documents for us to sign and notarize so you can take them to the courthouse." "Thank you, Nathan. You've been so mature about this whole thing. I really appreciate it." The documents were printed, the notary arrived, and we signed everything. I grabbed my suitcase and left for the airport. A month later, my cell phone ring woke me up from a nap on the beach in Cabo. I didn't even need to look at the caller ID to know who it was. "Hello, Anna. To what do I owe the pleasure of this call?" "You evil, generous jerk. I don't know how you did this, but you won't get away with it." I answered on speakerphone instead of holding it to my ear. "Why? What exactly do you mean by that, dear?" I asked. "You know perfectly well what I mean," she retorted. "There's a moving truck parked in front of the house and a bailiff here with eviction papers." "Well, I imagine the new owners need you and your boyfriend out before they can move in." "You signed the house over to me. What do you mean, new owners? I own it," she replied, furious. "Well, technically, that's not true. What I signed over to you was all the equity we owned at the time the divorce papers were signed. We hadn't owned any property for over 3 months before you handed me those papers. Since your name wasn't on the deeds, I didn't even need your signature to sell them." "You mean the beach house was sold too?" she asked, shocked. I said I was never really a fan of the beach. "You evil jerk! Where the hell are you? I need to meet with you to discuss signing the paperwork and securing my share of the company." "Ah, about that, you don't have any share." "What do you mean?" she countered. "About 6 months ago, I was only managing the company on a salary until the new owners fully took over. In fact, I stopped working there a week before our last conversation. So that means no salary, no alimony," she screamed. "And the kids?"
You said you wanted to take care of them. No, what I said was I wanted to take care of my children. Since I am not the biological father of either of them, I have no interest in supporting them. Maybe you should talk to Chris and Jerry about footing the bill for their own children. DNA is a wonderful thing. Well, at least I still have my savings and investments, she muttered before stopping upon hearing my laugh. Let me guess, she groaned. That's gone too? I transferred everything to an offshore account as soon as I sold the company. Good luck trying to find a single dime. We'll see what the court has to say about that, she scoffed. Good luck with that. I gave you exactly what was listed in the documents you signed and notarized. You received 49% of all the companies I owned at the time of signing. You got all the properties we had at that moment. You received your share of my income at that time. The alimony you are entitled to is exactly 25% of my salary in the United States. The fact that you never checked if I still owned businesses, properties, or any source of income after that is not my problem. I never said any of those things existed. You are getting exactly what you deserve. What do you mean by that? I supported you and was your wife for 10 years. I deserve more than nothing. Seriously? You cheated on me for at least 5 years. As soon as I left, you moved your new lover in. You are an unfaithful woman and deserve nothing. Oh, and I also filed a lawsuit against your company. I found out their code of conduct has a moral clause that prohibits adulterous relationships between employees. The videos I sent of the two of you in the office should ensure both of you get fired. Furthermore, the ethics committee is investigating your lover. It seems he obtained evidence that he was in a relationship with a client while representing her. If proven, he could be disbarred. That means he won't be able to simply go to another law firm or open his own. Basically, his career is over. Shoot, I need to call David, she exclaimed. Don't even bother. He won't answer. What do you mean? She asked hesitantly. From what I hear, he was the victim of a rather violent mugging. He's probably in an ambulance heading to Memorial General right now. I guess it's time for you to find a new boyfriend. My God, she whined. The call ended shortly after. My beautiful Latina woke up from her nap and decided we should go back to the private cabana where we could wear even fewer clothes. I had given her this trip as a thank you for keeping me informed about my wife's activities. She called me earlier that day to let me know the papers had been filed and that they planned to surprise me that night. She left the law firm shortly after, went home to pack her bags, and we met at the airport. We flew to Cabo together. In 2 more days, we would head to Costa Rica, where there is a large expat community and you can live like a king on a small budget. Reddit comment of the day. What the wife thought was a master move ended up being her greatest defeat. She laughed thinking she had gotten the better of him, but in the end, she was the one left with nothing. OP played it smart and calm, and in the end came out on top without having to raise his voice. So, do you think he went too far or just gave back what he got? If this story hooked you from beginning to end, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Every day I bring incredible stories like this. Oh, and there are 2 more unmissable stories here on the screen waiting for you. Choose one and come with me. I'll stop here, and until the next story full of twists and turns.